Hello hockey fans, and welcome back to another video. If you were to ask any NHL player about their debut in the league, most, if not all of them, would have at least one distinct memory which defined that game. Whether they scored their first goal, got rocked by a big hit, or were pranked by their teammates, everybody remembers something special about the biggest moment of their career. Most players in their first game get at least a handful of shifts or double-digit minutes from their coach to go out onto the ice and make an impact for their team, with the ice time changing depending on how well or how poorly they play. However, one player's debut ended just as quickly as it began. This is the story of Kellan Lain, the shortest NHL debut in league history. In order to tell this brief tale, allow me to take you back to January 18th, 2014. Kellan Lain, a 25-year-old undrafted forward for the Utica Comets, had just been called up to join the Vancouver Canucks roster and make his NHL debut as the Canucks were set to host the Calgary Flames. Though he had just been called up and was getting his first taste of the bigs, it wasn't due to his scoring numbers. What I mean is, Lain had garnered the reputation of being a fighter rather than a lover, as he would often spend much of his season sitting in the sin bin, highlighted by the 129 penalty minutes he accumulated that year. Still, he had earned a call-up fair and square, and was ready to help the Canucks win a hockey game in whatever way he could. As Lain stepped onto the ice of Rogers Place for the first time, the debuting forward was put on for the first drop of the puck, as both the Calgary and Vancouver head coaches, Bob Hartley and John Tortorella, had decided to put out their fourth lines for the opening face-off. The puck hit the ice, the face-off was taken, then all hell broke loose. Just 2 seconds into the game, a full-on line brawl broke out. Each skater found a partner and did the enforcer's dance until either them or their adversary went down. Both goaltenders looked on from their nets as punches were being thrown and blood was being spilled. Amidst this chaos, Lain dropped his gloves with Calgary's Kevin Westgarth, and the two exchanged pleasantries. Considering it was Lain's first fight in the bigs, he handled himself pretty well, especially against a seasoned vet and a tough customer in Westgarth. Welcome to the NHL, kid. Once the referees had finally gained control of the situation and the dust had settled, all 5 skaters from both teams were given a whole number of penalties, including fighting, roughing, and misconduct calls. In doing so, this brawl set a new NHL record for both the quickest fight and the fastest ejection from a game in league history, surpassing the previous record of 12 seconds set by a scrap between Montreal's John Ferguson and Boston's Ted Green on October 8, 1963. Of the 10 skaters involved in the brawl, 8 of them were given game misconduct penalties, meaning they were ejected from the game and had to spend the remainder of their match in the team's locker room. I'm not kidding, go and look at the game sheet from that night, and you will see that 8 different players have a total time on ice of just 2 seconds. As it happens, one of the 8 players ejected was Lain, who had also just set a new league record for the shortest NHL debut at just 2 seconds, surpassing the previous record set by Montreal Canadiens netminder Randy Exelby, who took to the crease for just 3 minutes of game time during his debut in January 1989, while Patrick Roy had to go to the bathroom. But that's a story for another day. In his first National Hockey League game, the biggest moment of his career, and a game he would remember for the rest of his life, Kellan Lain had been on the ice for 2 seconds. His debut was quite literally over before it even started. As Lain and the other combatants returned to the locker room, Vancouver would go on to win the game 3-2. John Tortorella would get suspended for an altercation with the Flames in a hallway, and the teams would move on with the rest of their respective seasons. So, what happened to Lain following his debut? Did he use his brief performance against Calgary to find a more permanent spot on an NHL roster? Well, following his explosive debut, Lain would go on to play 9 NHL games, all with the Canucks, during the 13-14 season, where he scored just a single point and racked up 21 penalty minutes, 15 of which were from his debut. The lone point of his career was his first and only NHL goal, which he scored 3 days after his debut against Edmonton Oilers goaltender Ben Scrivens. After his 9-game stint, Lain was reassigned to the Utica Comets and spent the next few seasons bouncing between a number of AHL teams. The undrafted forward then made a move to the ECHL, didn't play at all during the 17-18 season, but then put on his skates once more to suit up in the Allen Cup, which he has played in for the past 2 seasons and where he currently resides with the Brantford Blast, scoring 7 points in 6 games with just 2 penalty minutes. Doesn't sound like the Lain I remember. Though he clearly wasn't a superstar in the making, and the situation that brought him this record was through no fault of his own, Kellan Lain found a pretty unique way to get his name into the hockey history books, with a time that should be near impossible to beat. Sure, it's probably not a record that he would have wanted, but whether you played 9 or 900 games in the NHL, it's one hell of an achievement. And that's the story of the shortest debut in NHL history. What do you guys think about Lain's first NHL game? Was it good, bad, or should he have been given a longer stint in the best league in the world? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear what you guys think. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, or watch some of my other videos. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. A big thank you to Adam Budziszewski, Chris Gadsby, Connor B, Jordan Whitehead, and Paul Malia, as well as a huge thank you to Max Artis and The Legacy for helping support this video via Patreon. If you too want to help support the channel a little bit further and get a shout out at the end of every future video, make sure you head over to patreon.com/oddmanrush and become a patron today.